So what's my story? That is a question that I get quite a bit, especially because we're all about storytelling here at Project Wednesday. And there's a couple of my team members that have been asking me for quite some time, what is your story? What is your story? What is your story? What is your why? You know, we have the general why. We want to develop and reinforce this positive human development through Project Wednesday, myself and all the team members. But they want to know, like, why, Holly? Why did a year ago did you sit and do this? And I've given some backstory with, just wanting to leave my mark and to inspire in some way, shape, or form in just a nutshell of a way of saying it. But what it really comes down to is, of course, my whole story is 25 and a half years long now, but there are some major pieces. And to just kind of quickly go through it, I guess you could say, it started when I was a kid. And I'm not going to speak poorly about anything I'm about to bring up. It's really just things that have made me who I am and where I am today. But one of the first major things that I remember in my life is my parents' divorce. And basically what that means for me now is it set me on a different path than other kids that don't have parents who divorced, or for kids that never had parents or knew their real parents, or whatever. There's all different situations. But it really just set me down this path of, trying to figure out how that works with having my parents, not together, how that works when your parents fall in love with other people. At one point when I was in high school, I actually decided that I didn't want to live with my mom anymore and that I wanted to live with my dad because I just felt like I didn't know him very well. And so, of course, that kind of spiraled and created a whole nother direction of my life, and even my mom's life and my little sister's life, who was living with my mom, wondering, where'd big sis go? I was 20 minutes down the road, but I wasn't at home. I was choosing not to live there or with her or my mom anymore. So, what did she take away from that? How did I change her story? And then from there, I went to college, and I thought I was going to go to college and become a French teacher. And I had a very important person in my life tell me that it was a bad idea and you would never make any money, this and that. And so I called up the University of Scranton and I said, hey, I want to come in undecided. And that led me to choosing 5 different majors throughout college. And what I feel like, I wouldn't say now that I missed out on opportunities, but I guess that's the best way to put it for anyone to relate to, is with changing my major so many times, I couldn't take on a second major or even a minor because I kind of used up all of my credits and time just testing everything else out. But I grew from it and I figured it out, and it was really my out of the classroom experiences that led me to loving higher education and going to grad school and getting my master's in that. Throughout my entire life, well, I guess you could say since I was about 12, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism and eventually Hashimoto's disease, which in a nutshell is thyroid stuff. Basically, I'm just on medication for that for the rest of my life, which is not a big deal. I have like this autoimmune disorder, or disease, I should say. And so basically I just have a super, super bad immune system, which kind of stinks. So if you come around me with a cold, I'll probably wake up feeling like I have the flu the next day. So stay at home if you're sick. Not that again, has really, it's affected my life in the sense that there are some side effects that kind of stink. Like sometimes I get trigger finger. So my fingers get stuck like this, and it hurts to even touch them. I'm like, ooh. And just like extreme cold and hot things, that kind of stinks. The biggest thing is, and I'm not trying to say this lightly, but I guess I kind of am at the same time, is I've been on and off battling depression for a very long time, probably since high school. Finally talked to some doctors about it in college. And when I was in grad school, I actually finally would go to some therapy sessions. And which when people hear that sometimes, not that I talk about it a lot and not that I'm hiding it, it's just, it doesn't define me. It's just something I'm personally going through, which we all have. People are like, but you're one of the happiest people I know. You can't be depressed. And I'm like, I don't think so either. But I definitely am sometimes. So there's that. So fast forward, it's December 17th of 2014. And yes, I said 17th. So we're actually celebrating the 1 year on the Wednesday 1 year later rather than the date 1 year later. So we're cheating a little bit, but thanks for understanding. So yeah, so basically, life isn't always easy. And I'm speaking more generally now, not just for me. I recently was listening. I like to listen to these inspirational YouTube videos. Check out Jim Carrey's inspirational YouTube videos, by the way, any of them. Any of them. They're amazing. He's not just a hilarious actor. Anyway, and in one of these other inspirational videos I was listening to, they were just talking about how the ocean exists and then there are waves. And sometimes people think about waves being separate from the ocean, but they're not. They are the ocean. They're just an effect of the ocean. So I was really thinking about that and how we as human beings, we think we're like these individual human beings that are just kind of existing in our own little world. But it's like, what if, so we think of ourselves as the wave and we kind of disconnect ourselves from everything going on, or like the world. But what if we're the ocean? That was like the big question of this one section of this inspirational video, is if we're not just the wave, but we are the ocean. And of course, if you don't know by now, I'm really, really into that whole puzzle piece idea, the puzzle piece theory. We're all connected and forming this bigger, larger picture. That's really, really important. This really resonated with me because I was like, yeah, I'm not just the wave, I'm the whole entire ocean. And I'm really, really making an impact, and I'm really important because that's like 70% of the world. Okay, so reeling it back in. What am I saying? What am I trying to say? So, okay, one time I heard this man say, you're not supposed to just be living your life. You're supposed to build your life. You have to build it. And building is obviously a word that requires you to do things. But yeah, I think that's really, really important because we can wake up every day, and since breathing comes pretty easy for most of us, and just kind of showing up isn't too hard usually, and just kind of going through the motions until you have to lay back down and go to sleep again isn't that bad. That's what a lot of people do because it's really easy. And then they wake up and it's the end of their lives and they're like, wait, what? And they don't get it because they didn't try to actually live. Well, I guess that I just contradicted myself. You know what I mean? They didn't try to build a life worth living. Don't be those people. Don't be that person. Wake up. Right now. I know you're awake, but wake up. This is your life. Your life. You are going to have some very difficult things, occurrences, happenings, whatever it might be, come up in your life. You are going to be challenged. You are going to have days where you're like, this is it. I'm done. Why do I try? Other people don't. They're fine. No. You're better than that. You're bigger than that. You are the universe. There's a quote about that. The universe is inside of us. And I'm not trying to be all flighty with you and whatnot. I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to be your friendly reminder that you are so important. That you are what is leaving this impact on the future of this world. Do you ever think about that? That the people before us that made all of this around us possible, I mean, they were people too. They weren't like some sciencey, robotic, like know-all, whatever human beings. They were human beings who just put their mind to something or maybe had a little special knack. But guess what? You have a special knack. You have a special talent. You have skills already in your skills tool belt that you should be working on each and every day. So if you're not, that's your fault. I'm telling you that right now. And I'm sorry if that's a little harsh. It's just I really, really believe in you, and I really, really want you to see that. I digress. Again, I guess I just have to say thank you. Thank you for everything. I don't even know you probably. Or maybe I do. Hey, Mom. But this is incredible. I don't know if you ever think about it. Like, not even just Project Wednesday, but using Project Wednesday as an example, just this community of all these random strangers just sharing their stories and connecting human beings to some sort of feeling or motivation or action that they're going to implement into their own lives. That's powerful. So let's keep doing it. Let's keep building it. And let us know if you want to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form, because we're always looking for that. But I'm going to end here because I'm really, really happy. And you should be too, because we're making a difference. And I really believe that. So thanks.